It's time for the DC Podcast.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second episode of the DC Cast. New intro again, thought I'd switch it up. I think that's the one I'm going to stick with. Spent some time fiddling around making that yesterday. Hope you guys enjoy it. Right away, though, I'd like to say that there's a good chance that this podcast will be a once-a-week sort of deal. Maybe more, depending on my schedule and what I have going on. But I like the idea of a once-a-week podcast. It's something that, I don't know, you get it kind of a rhythm. And the way I see it is the more you put out, well, not put out in the sexual term. Let's bring it back down here, fellas. Anyways, the more videos you put out, the less I think people have an interest to watch every single one of them. I think if you stick to a once-a-week podcast, it makes it easy for people to follow, for people to stick with it. It kind of gives them a reason to watch every week. You know, there's only one, so it makes it. There's a difference. If you're putting one out every day, then people can afford to miss one. I think they feel, at least I do anyway, with certain podcasts that I enjoy. You know, if one's coming out every day or every other day and I miss it, to me it's not a big deal because I know there's going to be 2 or 3 more that week. But if you're putting out one a week, you know, there's only 40 episodes, you're waiting 40 weeks for that collection to come out. So I think people have more of an interest if it comes out once a week, maybe twice a week. But the guys who do it every day, it's great. You know, people, if they're a good podcast, people have the option to watch it every day. But it also, I think, dumbs down the interest a little bit because people know that, hey, I'll just catch tomorrow's. Anyway, that's probably what I'm going to be doing. But the first, as you can tell by the title, the big topic I wanted to talk about today was Leonardo Dicaprio not having an Oscar. And I know the Oscars were a while ago, and this kind of came up randomly in my daily routine. And I wasn't directly doing any research on it originally. I did afterwards. But originally I was listening to a morning radio show driving to work, and they were talking about it. And it was scrolling through my mind and jogging my memory of the movies he's been in. The fact that he doesn't have an Oscar is fucking ridiculous. I'm going to rattle off some. This is a sample of his movies, and these are phenomenal movies. The Wolf of Wall Street, I believe it came out in 2013, Wolf of Wall Street. That was a huge movie. Huge movie. It's based on a true story. The guy did a phenomenal job, and the movie was a huge success. 1 year earlier, Django, another huge movie. Django, I don't know, he always says the D is silent, but Django, that movie, that was huge. It was so controversial and so on the edge, and he fucking nailed that part. He nailed it. What was his name? Calvin Candy or something? I don't know. Are you kidding? That is such a good... He played that so well. I don't know if you guys saw it. He played that part so well. He was so good in it. Inception, another movie. That movie just fucked with people's minds. Shutter Island, again, sort of the same. That movie fucked with people's minds. That movie was pretty much except Inception. It was pretty much the same thing. Those movies were 2 movies that, made you think. Good movies, though. Made you think, though. Blood Diamond, holy fuck. This is almost on the same scale as the Django. Fuck off. I don't know, whatever. Django and Blood Diamond. Both extremely controversial. Well, I don't know. Blood Diamond's it's based on real events. Both those movies are based on real events, and it's painting the picture of the past. Or Blood Diamond. I don't know if it's still like that, but those are real things. These are real fucking things that happen. Real daily, and he nails these parts. Not only does he nail these parts he gets, but he picks the biggest movies of the year, the biggest movies of the decade, and he fucking nails every part. When was the last time you watched a movie and said Leonardo Dicaprio was shit in this movie? He has movies that not a lot of people know about. He has movies that aren't as big, and ones I haven't seen. But it's Leonardo fucking DiCaprio. I'm sure he nailed that part. It's just the movie itself wasn't a big deal. Moving down the list, Titanic. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? What year did that movie come out? 97? We're going to look this up. 1997 Oscar. We're going to look this up. I probably should have had this up already. Probably should have had this up already. I'm going to say 1997 Oscar movie. We'll look this up here. So, clearly, just the numbers, just in sheer money made, the gross, they made $300 fucking million. $300 million. No. 600 fucking million? Is that what this is saying? 600 million total gross. That's what it grossed in the theaters. 600 million. That for the longest time was the highest, the most successful movie of all time, and I believe Avatar took that out. I'm not sure what movie. 1997 Oscar Best Picture. The English Patient. Are we looking in the right year? It's not 1997, right? This movie was released in 1997. Titanic Oscars. I'll type Titanic. Titanic Oscars. Anyways, Titanic is one to name a few. So Titanic did win Best Picture, Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Art Set Decoration, Best Costume Design. That's an Academy Awards. Scroll down here to Oscars and see if... it must have won tons of Oscars. I don't know. I can't find it. But anyway, you've seen the list that I've given you, and those were the major ones that I rattled off. There's two honorable mentions, if you will. The Departed. I did see that movie. I can't remember. It was a good movie, but I don't have enough of an opinion to make a strong argument for that. I know it was a good movie. And last year's movie, maybe it was even this year's movie, The Great Gatsby, came out in 2013. I didn't see that one either. I've heard, it was a big movie. People knew about it. It was one of those movies that came out and everybody knew about it. I didn't see it, so I don't have a great. I can't speak on it. But I mean, these movies that I've named off are movies that everybody knows about. Everybody. He's got, how many movies is this? One. These are 8 movies. 8 fucking movies. And he's probably done 25 movies. Maybe even more than that. Probably, nah. Let's see. How many movies we got? We got one. Yeah, he's got about 20 movies. He's got about 20 movies. Half those movies are huge successes, and he hasn't won an Oscar for them. Somehow, some way, Leonardo DiCaprio hasn't won an Oscar. The Wolf of Wall Street, Django, Inception, Shutter Island, Blood Diamond, The Titanic. And he hasn't won one. Those were all fucking great movies. They're all huge movies. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how people can justify not putting in Blood Diamond, in Django, in The Titanic. He played pretty good role. Blood Diamond is probably the lowest out of those three I named. Django and The Titanic. Everybody knows Jack from The Titanic. Everybody knows Jack, that story. The Titanic was the biggest movie of all time. And that doesn't mean that he has to win the Oscar because it was the biggest movie of all time. Second biggest, I guess, now because Avatar took it over. But I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me how an actor of that magnitude hasn't won an Oscar. Anyways, there's my little rant for the day. Moving on. A little bit of weird news. This was yesterday morning. I was at work and I was listening to the radio and I heard a guy. I guess he must have bought this on like Craigslist or something. He bought, I don't know what he was thinking. He bought a trampoline. I don't know. He either bought it, stole it, found it. I don't know. He had a trampoline that he picked up, and instead, like any normal person would, instead of disassembling the trampoline, because he was just taking it home in a normal pickup truck. No, it was nothing special. Instead of disassembling it and placing it nicely in the back of his truck. If I have a picture, I'm going to put this right now. While I'm talking, you'll be able to see the picture if I could find it. It's on my phone. I might be able to transfer it. Anyways, this guy has a trampoline standing up vertical, strapped to the bed of his truck. It's like 30 feet in the air. And I don't even think trampolines are bolted together. They might just be like pressure put in. I'm not sure that you actually bolt in the trampoline, the legs on the bottom. I could be totally wrong. But if you're seeing the picture, you'll know exactly what I'm talking. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I saw it on Reddit this morning, and that's how I got it on my phone. But I heard it on the radio yesterday, so I think it was right in my neck of the woods. I'm pretty sure it was, it's got to be within 100 miles of where I live because I heard it on the radio, and I don't think stuff like that would travel too far. But I hope I can find this picture for you because this is one of the weirdest stories, one of the weirdest pictures I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some pretty weird shit on the internet, so I hope I can find it because this is definitely something to see. Last topic, I'm not very good at transitioning. I've got to work on that. Maybe I'll put some, down the road, I'll put some music in these transitions. Maybe I'll just stop sucking at transitions. I don't know if you guys play this or not, but fantasy sports, more specifically, fantasy sports that you have a favorite team in. The pros and cons are something that I kind of wanted to go over because playing fantasy baseball for me is the most fun because I'm pretty neutral all around the board. My favorite team is the Toronto Blue Jays, but I'm not like a diehard fan where if they lose I'm upset or if they win I'm thrilled. I mean if they won if they won the World Series, I'd be thrilled. But it's not one of those things where it's a make or break thing for me. On the other hand, fantasy football, the New England Patriots if they lose, you're not going to fucking talk to me the rest of the day. Because I'm going to fucking be punching holes in my wall all day. So playing fantasy sports then, at least for football, is more difficult. Because, and I don't know, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but I thought I'd throw this out there because I don't know if you guys feel the same way, if anyone feels this way, but playing fantasy sports where you have a favorite team is almost like the fucking Antichrist. It's almost like a fucking sin where you're picking players to play against your favorite team and score points against them. It's almost like you're rooting for the guys playing against your favorite team. And that's something that I've heard actually a lot. Surprisingly, I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and they say the same thing. Because if you got a favorite team and you're really dedicated to that team, and you're really like, that's your team, you're committed to that team, it's hard to pick a player to oppose your favorite team, because it's like you can't like that team that much if you pick players to play against your favorite team. Last year I played fantasy football for the first time since I was like 10 with one of my dad's leagues. And I remember specifically not playing players who would play against the Patriots. Unless, I can't remember who I had. Unless I was a quarterback. Because then either way you're going to get a lot of points. But I remember specifically not picking players for that week to play against the Patriots because exactly that. Because I don't want to feel good about people scoring against fucking New England. And I don't know if that's weird to people, but that's how my mind works. Fantasy sports are great though. And I especially like baseball because I'm pretty neutral. And the only two I've ever really played are football and baseball. But they're great. I'm in a league right now with 8 friends, and it's like people. I got friends all across Canada. Well, not all across. I'd say halfway across Canada, throughout the provinces, different provinces, in school, playing hockey, playing baseball, working. People are just all over doing their own thing. But when you're playing fantasy sports, it's kind of like you're all together again. You all have something in common, like you once did in high school, where you went to the same school. Maybe you played the same sports. You had the same friends, so you hung out together, where you could be with each other. And it's almost like we're all still connected because of this fantasy league. And this fantasy league is keeping us close, giving us something to talk about. Because I know for a fact, when this league started, we started a big group chat with damn near everyone in the league. And that was the first time that everyone had talked in a couple months, since everyone had left to do their own thing again. So fantasy sports are great. I don't know. The competition, the fact that you get to play with friends, or if you join a random league, it's phenomenal. It's a great idea. Whoever started it is a fucking genius, because people play this all the time. The one thing I really like about it is it makes it really easy to follow maybe a sport that you enjoy, but you don't have the time to sit down and watch 3 games a day. Because right now I'm playing, for instance, I got 9 guys on my team. He's got 9 guys on his team. So right there's 9 different games going on. Granted, there might be a few of the same players on the same team. But you can see that now, all these different scores right in front of you. You're not having to go to the TV and check. You're not having to go, it's right there because you want to see the score. And B, you don't have to almost force yourself maybe to go and check scores. Because it's easy, because you're going to want to check how your team's doing. And as a result, you're going to see who they're playing, how this player did, how he's doing throughout the year, how that team's doing throughout the year. Because one big thing in our league is pitching. You pick a pitching staff, and you can go with them, you can drop them, you can trade them, but you can go to all the pitching staffs, and see how that staff's doing. So the top staff's going to have more wins. So you know right away who's got lots of wins, who's got lots of losses, who's doing good that year. So I don't know, fantasy sports, it's a great thing. I love it. And And I've been playing fantasy sports kind of off and on my whole life, starting when I was back in when I was 10. So I don't know. It's fun. It's competitive. But like I said, it's tough for me to play fantasy baseball because it feels like you're fucking going against your favorite team. Anyways, that's my take on it anyway. I don't know how other people feel. Maybe I'm just fucking psycho. Anyways, guys, this is we'll wrap up right here. The end of the DC Cast episode 2. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're still watching. Maybe a thumbs up if you're still here. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. And I will see you on the next episode. Later.